Decision 2010 has been dominated by big races for big offices, but that's not all that's up for grabs this election cycle.
There is perhaps one issue that could have a bigger impact on the state of Michigan than all the other races combined. That issue is the question of a constitutional convention.
Let's bring him in. 24-hour News 8's political reporter Rick Albin here with some important information.
Yeah, and some information that a whole lot of people may not be aware of. You know, our current Constitution says that every 16 years, the question of whether we should rewrite the state constitution should be on the ballot. The question is pretty clear. Should we convene a group of delegates? It wouldn't be the current lawmakers. It'd be a whole different group of people to change the state's current guidelines or not. Even though the question is simple, the answer may be complex. If such a convention were held, it would mean that everything that's in the Constitution would be up for review, from what constitutes marriage to Prop A and school funding, the makeup of the legislature, term limits. It's all fair game. A convention could change all of it, part of it, or none of it. But is it a good idea? Former Grand Rapids Mayor John Logie says yes.
There is proposal one on the ballot, and it basically is a yes or no. Shall we have, it's long wordy stuff, but it says, shall we have a constitutional convention in 2011? I'm saying to the people of Grand Rapids and West Michigan, vote yes on that. We get 148 delegates from all over the state, drawn by the House districts and the Senate districts. We put them to work for maybe 7 months. That's how long it took last time. They come back with a revised constitution, and they have to get a yes or no vote by the people following their submission.
On the other side of the issue is former state legislator Diane Byram. She worries that the passage of such a measure would create chaos for the state at a time that she says it can ill afford any uncertainty.
I think we should all be voting no for several reasons. One is there's no fatal flaw in Michigan's Constitution. Second, it's a $45 million price tag. But even more importantly, it's very divisive to a state at a time we need to be working together. We've seen the nationalization of Michigan state elections this year. Do we have the stomach to go right back into this again? Very divisive. You'll fight all the social issues again. And lastly, you'll hit the pause button on any economic growth in Michigan. If you have the uncertainty of not having a constitution, not knowing the rules by which to play by, business is not going to want to locate in Michigan.
This issue is unique in that support or opposition doesn't necessarily break down along party lines like so many other things do. Also unusual, a measure of such potential importance has taken a far back seat to massive amounts of open seats from the State House and Senate to constitutional offices all the way to the U.S. House. That does not, however, change the fact that you will be making the decision on this issue in less than 3 weeks. And if you'd like to hear more about a constitutional convention, pros and cons, join me this Sunday morning at 10 o'clock, as that will be one of the topics on this week's To the Point.